noise.
That I ain't going
nowhere.
I ain't blowing no smoke. I mean, I've been sober, but you should've known it. And I wasn't going.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the first video of the year, and I have my special guest, Ethan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. This is a special podcast interview of a lifetime with
Steph.
That works.
Yeah, when you wrote me, I was surprised because you're a speaker, you are an author, you're a mental health advocate, and then you just got an award. So I was like, well, whoop, this is a special person. How are you doing?
I'm doing well and productive.
Yeah. Who is Ethan?
Well, I'll start back from the beginning. My mom had me on a hot Saturday. She named me after her friend. His name is Ethan Trowery. He's a twin. His twin is Eric Trowery. He is not my biological father, but that's somebody I'm named after.
Yeah.
Basically, from his perspective, when he first saw me at my mom's house, he held me, and then my mom said, "I named my son after you." He felt honored and everything. Then after that, I didn't really see him again until like 2016 when I reached out to him, and he was just as curious as me as I was curious about him. And you know, thankfully, time has bridged between us. And you know, when he called his mom, she asked where did she get the name Ethan. She said from the Bible.
Aw, that's nice.
Also, Ethan is athletic. Let's see, since this is your show, I gotta say, be 100. Let's see, African American mixed with Puerto Rican and some European based on my ancestry DNA test and family history. And I'm a proud uncle. My niece is gonna graduate this spring. I have a nephew. He's like a son to me. Then I have another niece. She's less than a year old. She's like a daughter to me.
Nice. How was your childhood like?
A lot of things. Like, I am the second child of both my parents. My dad had already started a family with somebody else while he was in college. Unfortunately, she didn't graduate or go back. Then when he had two women pregnant at the same time.
Two?
Yeah, like those. And I was one of those children, and my sister was as well. We're 2 months apart.
Oh, so you guys are like Irish twins.
Yeah. And then when I became like 4, I saw my dad driving this green coupe car. I saw this boy who looks similar to me. Turns out it was my brother, and it's like the roles were reversed. He's in the car looking at me in the front yard. And for the first 4 years of my life, I didn't know I had a different sibling.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 6 or 7 is when I met my sister.
How was that like when you met them?
Well, I didn't know who she was. There was no formal introduction.
Right.
It was just simply, I remember like it was yesterday, my stepmom at the time, me and my sister were in the back seat. She looked at both of us and asked how old both we are. We both said the same number. And I was like, whoa, we were young, we didn't know anything or know any better, but my stepmom knew. Now the number would have been different if she would have asked me after my birthday, and you know, it could have counted as a leap year, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But other than that, I grew up in a single parent household of 5 where my mom depended on food stamps, welfare, housing assistant, and of course WIC.
Yeah.
We're all receiving child support. And those choices were a result of being with multiple men without the requirement of marriage. Let's see.
I could relate to that.
2 of the men was more cohabitating. my dad, it was just something not even serious until it was time to sign those child support papers. Yeah, and plus parental rights. But ultimately, it was a mixture of the good, bad, and ugly. It wasn't my fault for a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Just a situation where certain adults decide not to be resilient, decide not to own up to certain things. And what happens far too often in life is people pass down generational trauma, wounds, scars, and excess baggage they're not meant to carry.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to an airport. If you have too much stuff on you, they're gonna charge you a fee. Mm-hmm. Just like in real life, there's a fee for that, affecting your mental health and your heart.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people turn to the drugs, alcohol, social media for attention seeking and all this other stuff. When in reality, they're just bleeding on people that haven't even cut on them.
I feel that.
But the solution to all that is you have to be willing to go to therapy, whether it's through a app on your phone call, video chat, texting, mentor, coaches. You gotta let it out. That way the energy is transferred out of you instead of being held in you. It's kind of like Murphy's Law. Energy is not lost or gained, it's just transferred.
Yeah. I like that saying. And you did mention you're speeding up. I was gonna get there. I said, what type of challenges did you face growing up? But you mentioned
men in my life. Like for example, my mom was with this one guy. After I was born, I don't know the time period. I estimate 1.5 to maybe 3. Right. I know I'm like at least 2 years older than my next sibling. And I realized I didn't have that undivided attention time with her, and I realized she chose one to cohabitate with a man than cater for me. And as a result, 2 kids were born, which were my younger brothers. And people gotta live with the choices. And what ended up happening is a certain incident that caused the family to break up, which I'm gonna talk about in my next book.
Okay.
It's life-changing. It's kind of like a story behind the story. Like people read my first book, the inspirational story, Ethan Poetic, and they wonder, how did I end up in a single-parent household of 5 if nothing was my fault as a child? Far too often, people like to use titles to hide behind things. Oh, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a pastor, I'm the CEO, I'm a founder. Behind those titles comes great responsibility and giving more of ourselves in a leadership position. But far too often, we're going to hide behind the leadership instead of being in our purpose. But the other challenges were having a straight away from my biological father. It's just, as I talk about in my book, a quick story. He's at the laundromat with my aunt. My grandma, who's my mom's mom, shows up and she tells him, my daughter's pregnant with your child. You need to get ready to go see her or him. He denied me as his child before he even saw me. So later down the road, my mom has me, even in the midst of that situation. And I was born on a hot Saturday. My grandparents took her over to the hospital, took her back home. Then my aunt came to the house, checked out my body as a newborn baby before DNA tests were running.
Yeah. And
then she said, yeah, this is my nephew, because she's older than my dad. So she's the older sister. And she told my dad, this is your child, you go see him.
Yeah.
And when he did see me, that was the one of very few greatest moments when he did hold me in his arms or hands, and pretty much, back then men weren't trying to be like apologize, like reading between the lines of apology or what he said. Then after that, he worked, paid child support. Just unfortunately repeated the same cycle as his dad.
The generational trauma.
Yes.
Yeah, I can relate to you a lot. I come from 7 kids, mom getting child support, welfare, all that.
It's just a situation where my grandfather's originally from the island of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
He saw new opportunities like the generations before him in America.
Yeah.
And he was maybe 18 or 20 and started a new life. First he lived in Florida, made his way to coastal Pennsylvania, met my grandma, who was already a single parent of 2 kids. Then she got pregnant, got married, and then unfortunately that situation didn't work out. And she, it's like a situation of divorce gets finalized, he pays his child support, he leaves the household, he starts a new life. Meanwhile, she's a single parent of 3. Then eventually she has another child, now she's a single parent of 4.
Right.
And fast forward to now, if you're doing those type of decisions, eventually a person has to realize their dating value goes down. Marriage is not even on the table because not too many men are willing to pick up that type of bill. But moving forward, my grandfather ended up living in a different state than where my dad was living, which is in Delaware. And then I come to find out many years later on my own that I had 2 aunts and an uncle than my grandfather, who were his biological children. So now that creates some favoritism where my dad thinks they have it better because they got direct access to him, but that's not the case. And how it got repeated was when my dad had 4 kids by 3 different women. The 3rd woman he did get married to and still is married to this day, well over 20 years.
Yeah.
I thought my younger brother, who's the youngest of youngest, had it better because he lived in a household that had more food, better clothing, people who work. But he wasn't happy on the inside.
Right.
Because he didn't get to see us older siblings that often. Well, he didn't realize that we had our own challenges.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when people don't face those things like adults are supposed to, again, you're passing down something that's not meant for a child to hold on to. But eventually, I did have the courage to confront my dad. First, I wrote him a letter. He didn't want to do the family counseling. Then eventually, I did a testimony at one of the churches. I was encouraged to ask that senior pastor to ask him if he wanted to mediate. Told the pastor said, all right, I'll do it. He said he contacted my dad 2 times and he refused to do it. And then, I'm not going to share the beans, but eventually karma happens where my dad gets in trouble at his job for something serious.
Right.
And now he's really got to talk to the pastor.
Right.
So he went from being the right-hand man of the pastor to sitting back in the pews, and eventually he left that church.
Oh, wow.
Yup. And he wasn't happy with what I wrote in the book, but it's the honest truth, the perspective of my experience.
Yeah, the older generation does get mad when you try to deal with stuff that they hand to you and you also have. They're just not ready to be confronted.
Yeah, because I realized that the parents would take the role they're supposed to take on and clean up the situation they created, or at least to break the cycle. They would be known for resiliency. They would be known for turning their adversities or mistakes into their advantage. They would have a testimony. They would have a better legacy and a better light and better relationship with their kids and grandkids.
Do you want to speak about a little bit about your Facebook posts? And
which one?
Your likes.
You talking about the recent post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really.
That works.
Okay.
My next poem is called You Have Earned Your College Degree. College degrees are not given out. They are earned and worked for by taking the time to study and research information. During all hours of the night and early morning, even when you feel like sleeping by laying your head on a pillow. There's no telling what your potential really is. The journey is part of your purpose. The path does have a finish line. The everyday choices do add up. Figure out your major right away. Skip the delay. Just to keep everything moving. So many degrees to choose from, such as associates, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. Money is invested daily. Keep in mind, By staying fully committed, college history started in Europe and evolved around the world. Applied knowledge is power. Education and experience get you so far in life. Stay true to yourself. Congratulations, you have earned your college degree.
I like that. I like the education is power that you said too.
Thank you.
So you were saying that you had a lot of like attention on Facebook that you just got now.
Yes, when I took my picture at the Trinity, the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church on South Duke Street to receive my NAACP award, I posted it. I have nearly 400 likes, over 70 comments, a couple of shares. Of course, people blowing up my phone.
That's good.
Sending me emails. The best is yet to come. The previous picture was me holding my book, dressed up in a suit and everything. Over 500 likes. Over 120 comments. Several shares, and people contacted me about my book or audio version of it. And then the next day, as a teaser, I got interviewed by CBS 21, and the show's gonna be published on television this month. They're gonna come out with a promo.
Nice.
And then I'm really gonna blow up.
Yeah, now you
Kapow!
can mediate, speak, and keep doing what you're doing and writing your second book. It's amazing. So we're gonna close it out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to Ethan's story. I know I sure was. I was like glued on to you when I was supposed to be staring over there. It's an amazing story, and a lot of people I feel like could relate to your story too.
They sure can, especially when there's so much that goes on.
Yeah.
They only come out on the other side.
Yeah.
But I also realized some of that stuff was caused by delays. But I'll leave you with this. I was helped by both my grandmas, and they both had faith and believed I was born with greatness, and they professed it with their own words.
They claimed it. Do you want to shout somebody out before we go?
Thank the NAACP for recognizing me with their award. I like to thank the student athletes for allowing me to take pictures with them for the purpose of inspiring them, their coaches, their team. I'd like to thank the city officials of the United States for recognizing me, for being a positive influence in the world. I do miss a lot of kids I used to work with. In the classrooms, cafeteria, in the playground, gym, music, and of course, arts. Just please keep in mind that I'll always be around. You can still see me certain events, public eye, social media. If your parents allow you to have a phone or a laptop or iPad, I understand, changes happen, but I'm still standing, I'm still here, and moving forward, life does happen, but please remember it's not your fault I'm not there anymore. It's just life happens. Moving forward, I look forward to continuing to evolve, and the best is yet to come. And I'm going to definitely look forward to earning another certification through AVOS for restorative justice and circles to have more opportunities in the schools, colleges, and your workplace. So talk to your assembly coordinator, your administrator, and have them contact me on my website, ethanspeaks.com.
Thank you. Bye, guys.